Take a seat, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get started. Time is short, and always is short. Try to go short on your time because that way most everybody did in the first half. So we're running. Ready. Okay, go.
All right. Like I always say at the beginning of whatever I read, just because you steal something doesn't mean you own it. This still is Indian country, and you live on Ohlone land. And if you want to help the Ohlone out, you know there is something called the internet. And you know you can actually get a hold of them and ask them if there's anything you can do. And if you have some ducats, please, please donate to the cause, because there's a lot of them building up court cases trying to protect their lands and their graves. All right, more to her than just being the coolest. When I was 11, my uncle, who had become my adoptive father, drove to Florida to see my mother's side of family. My Aunt Ina's Uncle Art, 2 sons, Richard, Glenn, and Eddie, had recently moved from Fort Lauderdale to Dade County. They lived next door to a Cuban family. Grew up in Fort Recovery, Ohio, where there were just only white people. So driving down from Ohio to Florida was my first experience seeing in the flesh people of color, instead of on a black and white television. One day, I went outside. Cuban kids are playing in their front yard, invited me over to play. I was happy to do so. Spanish, of course, is their first language, but they spoke English as well, where I only spoke English. We played as kids do. When they spoke Spanish with each other, I would try to mimic, but it, of course, was gibberish. But every once in a while, I would accidentally say something, and they would laugh, not at me, but with me. My greatest regret is that I had never learned Spanish. As it is, I've barely conquered English. As we played, I noticed someone standing in the front doorway. She's the grandmother who watches us as we play. I remember that I thought this was the coolest person I had ever seen. Her skin, dark, deep lines in her face, head scarf with large red flowers, big hoop hangings, like a woman pirate. Her eyes kind, had a pleasant smile. She smokes a fine Cuban cigar. Tip glows as she drags off her cylinder of tobacco, blowing blue smoke as generations had done before. There's a sweet, peppery, earthy smell from the cigar smoke that she expels from her lungs as it glides in rhythmic cascades, encircling air, ends in a final explosion, fading into the hot, humid air. This is no Madonna. This is flesh and blood. As I think back about this time, maybe she was a holy woman, saying her prayers, blowing smoke of protection for her children, who now included me, so that I would always remember her this day and carry it with me for the rest of my life to have an understanding of who Earth people really are. There is, in the end, more to her than just being the coolest. Thank you.
Stand around. Joseph, okay. And it's give Joseph and Vince, you're up. You're on.
Okay,
you're on deck. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate the people who are keeping time to a minimum. I appreciate that.
I'm exhausted, almost left because I fell asleep because It's tiring fighting all the crap that's going on in the world as poets, right? Because we're the light, we're the salt. We got to be out there constantly fighting all the reasons people think that we should be divisive and hateful. So I'm not going to do politics tonight. Nights on the ambulance, away from my wife, are burning my stomach, destroying my life. The county away, as though I were tied. I left the sheets cold for my beautiful bride. Though our love for each other was never in doubt. She's warm and she's human and she turned inside out. As night after night I never was there to run my strong fingers through her long silky hair. Damn my stupidity, my gullible heart, to let all those evenings find us apart. When I should have caressed her and held her so tight, I blindly neglected her needs every night. As I played the big hero that people would call, I was digging a pit for my marriage to fall. I never considered from her point of view what being alone and boredom could do. For I was awake through those evenings and nights, responding to illness and crashes and fights. I had a good job that paid all the bills and was lucky enough to get a few thrills of adrenaline rush out of saving some lives from overturned cars and bullets and knives. While the red lights and sirens did drown out the sound of my lovely wife's heart that did quietly pound. All alone with two arms that had no one to hold, and a big empty bed that made her feel cold. Her pillow no comfort to the thoughts in her head. By night, far apart, where our different lives led. "Help me, I'm stuck!" she screamed in the dark as I walked past her friend in the road. The overturned van with people ejected crashed when the driver's eyes closed. Asleep at the wheel on 101, 1 mile south of Salinas, the brightest of lights in the star-speckled sky, no other than faraway Venus. Twisted, deformed, in a pool of her blood, a testament to not wearing seatbelts. Triage the living, decide who goes first. In the upside-down van, there she knelt. Rather, her kneecap was stuck under the roof, torn from its bend in the leg. The driver was worse as he quietly moaned, but her pain made her yellingly beg. When you don't wear restraints, should your car ever flip, your body moves at freeway speed, and glass that is shattered from striking the road cannot keep you in despite need. At 55 miles per hour, no matter the strength you desire, if you trust in your arms to restrain you, the lesson you learn will be dire. Or perhaps I should tell of the bullets and knives that left their own scars in my heart, the trauma I've seen and the blood that I've washed that tore my life slowly apart. In the middle of crowds with spotlight on, medic, you must do your job. Swallow your tears, turn off emotions, and endure what each call starts to rob. Forget what you've heard when the families wailed because magic was not in your scope, and due to the damage you could not reverse, with the reaper did your patient elope. Drive home in the morning, to your family still sleeping, unable to share what you've seen, as the stains on your mind seep into your veins from the images you cannot wipe clean. Keep your chin up, keep your heart unattached, and do what a medic must do. Sickness and death are merely the facts of what on each shift we must view. Thank you.
Thank you. Vincent and Mo's on deck. Vincent and Mo's on deck.
Had a couple poems with the theme. Real quick announcement. Forum Magazine, CCS, City College of San Francisco Literary Magazine, is accepting submissions. Fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and photography, art, etc. You can go to their site at forumccsf.org, or you can submit submissions at forumccsf.org. Okay, I'm going to be stupid for a second, because I hated this theme.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
So this is called, okay, this is kind of, since Jeremy's not here, this is kind of, I kind of Jeremy-ized this. This is called Medium? I've never gone halfway with or about anything. I'm the ram, first in the zodiac. It's burning hot to the max, turned up to 10 decimals. It's all the way to the top. Perfectionism, extreme, violet hot. No room for less, always more. A complete package, an easy one-pan recipe. Add 1 cup of Fearless Warrior, mix in 16 full ounces of Playful Child, fold in a splash of Extrovert, and layer it with Assertive, Confident, Fiery, Bold, Spontaneous, and Independent. Let it stand for 24 hours. Cut evenly with each flavorful bite, being 1 part Passionate Boss, the other Ambitious Hunter, and a little sweetness of Optimistic Instigator. Though a quarter English and Irish and 50% of the Mediterranean boot, on first pass, you'd say I was 100% man of Verona, hands outward, moving around and about, telling the complete story, never one detail left out. So if you ask me how I'm doing, remember, I'll tell you. And in the end, it's extra large deep dish stuff, extra mozzarella and pepperoni. Don't hold back the spice. It's like pregnant or dead. I'm either or I'm not. I'm always first to pull off the scab, first in line, last to leave, first to volunteer, first to say please, and always say thank you, if not twice, 3 times. I won't waste your time, so please don't waste mine. In my family at age 8, first to act on stage, 14, first to get a work permit, 16, first to go to college, and first to be published, first to train hard and win a few bodybuilding trophies, first to carry a badge, and first to visit 4 different continents, and most importantly, first ever to get clean and sober and hang out with Rihanna. I've never paid much attention to the word no, the symbolic red sign, nor slow down like the dreaded pissy yellow traffic light. It was, and always has been, go with a bright solid green. So, once asked, do you ever do anything half-assed? I said, I'm amenable to a nice crisp royal blue, and sometimes I like chicken apple sausage, cheddar cheese grits, and 3 eggs over medium. 2 minutes, perfect. So Billy Porter, actor Billy Porter, just was the first openly gay man to win the Emmy Award on television for Best Actor, and it's a show called Pose, and it's about the black balls of New York City and the houses of extravagance and such. And he had a scene where he was coming off of AZT, and I remember those days. And I don't think I ever got to read this here. Tommy said I might have, I wasn't sure. So this is a tribute to a platonic friend of mine, Ron Miori, who not only taught me how to love God, again, because I was raised Roman Catholic, but he taught me how to love myself. This is called How Gone Is Too Long. I remember your last breath, staring straight up at the ceiling at Ward 86, clutching your book of Psalms. You had forgiven your family, God, but cursed them on that day, asking why, that you had so much left to do. Your mind was unwavering, but your body's tissues had become foreign and unfamiliar, an unwanted visitor for a short stay. Thrush inhabited your throat. Your voice was felt in your fingertips, touching us all lightly as you left us, eyes wide open, refusing to give the virus your sight. How gone is too long? Your interpretations in both the physical and spiritual realms have become my mantras, laughing at if you turn it over and take it back, you're upside down. This keeping me right side up most days, and the first time you read aloud my poem about boys and heartache, you became quiet, stood in the moment, your irises filled with compassion as you stated, when poetry is written, the angels are fluttering their wings. Allow the golden dust to sift down upon you. How gone is too long? You taught me saying, I don't know, is the promise which humility instills, reflecting, we remain teachable, you said. It doesn't take away from us, but adds to the ability for others to share their experience, their strengths, their weaknesses, their hope, and we remain right-sized, allowing integrity to be at full capacity. No chairs left for arrogance, and how a table for 2 sitting across from you, you holding my hand in both of yours, inviting in the universe with plates full of grace, and the only spilled resentment comes that you didn't live long enough for a life-saving protease cocktail. How gone is too long? And I'm going to skip a little bit. Before memories without you had become too old to remember, I would reach for the telephone. I wanted to touch base, let you in. You would love something that touched my heart and in turn bring us closer. But I would feel a heartbeat in my head that belonged to you and pause. Those realizations for years after, you were now an ash. And I had to appreciate our moments past and hold the anticipation forever. I ask, how gone is too long? Thank you.
Mose. And then Antoinette coming back. Try to keep them short, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm MOS. MOS are similar to like NBA, NFL. I'll let you figure out what MOS can stand for. Some levity first, a joke, okay? Two married couples go to a sex party. They find a bedroom. The ladies are on the bed. They're taking off their stilettos. One husband's in the chair, the other one's standing up. And he says, I have a better idea, Fred. Let's swap cars.
Bada boom, bah.
My spirit guide, an 8-foot white wolf, taps me on my shoulder and he asks, why are you with these people? Why are you listening to them? They don't know their whiskeys. They don't believe in their own dreams. They don't believe in their own heart. Instead, they will believe in the stupidity of what is falsely claimed as education stuffed in their heads. They don't trust intuition. They don't trust the benevolent universe. They're lost and too often ask the wrong questions. They think thinking is a good thing. They deny love is a cure for their sadness, for their emptiness. The wolf shakes his head in disbelief and he says, they don't trust their spirit guides. They're afraid of magic. They're afraid of imagination. Why are you with these people? I've been walking with Bob Dylan all day. I'm in the front of Green Acres Books. My reflection stands next to a poster of John Waters. He winks at me. I finally have an answer for the white wolf. They are my community. They are all I have. I can't leave just because they don't see the magic in their lives. He taps me on the shoulder and says, let's get a whiskey. This is getting way too real.
Thank you. All right, Antoinette's coming up. Give her a nice round of applause. Who's on deck? Oh, Nicholas. Nicholas, you're up next. Can I tell a quick joke?
Yeah.
So, definition of a politician. Politician is someone to whom you give $20, and when it's time to pay you back, he gives you 10. And when you complain, he says, hey, we're even. We both lost 10.
Yeah.
There we go.
Early morning, you forgot it's Saturday, showered, smell of Irish spring. Come back to bed, wrap long arms around my nose pressed against your chest, delicious soft, open mouth kiss like baby learning. Filled with love, taste, tenderness, every cell rejoices, intuition nourished, awareness awakened, drink me some living presence. Our auras mingle green electric sound set in motion, full moon saving grace. Aquatic Park, 1956, we jumped to knee-high exuberance, splashing one another, digging deep to China, blue-green puddles poised, sand craters marooned on shore, water so cold small toes ventured in, laughing hard while icy slivers spread through thin skin. One more, please. When I was 15, I liked a boy who was 14. Unkempt curly hair, his paper route had me rise before dawn. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin', while I stalked him. Exquisite freedom, secret joy, stole myself to solitary ambiguity. turning corners past mountains and museums. Practice with eyes closed, muscles toned, measured breath. Go to inner murals, sink past internal organs. There only I exist without care or concern for someone else's comfort.
Thank you. All right, our mini feature of the evening is coming up here. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as if you were Dr. Ryan. There's a lot.
How much time do I have?
Yeah, eight.
Okay, perfect. Hello, how you guys doing?
All right.
I've got some poems.
I'm
Of
glad to hear
course.
that.
So I debuted this one. This was my first ever open mic reading at a Bird and Beckett bookstore in Glen Park. I think it's time I bring this one here. It's not my best, but it means something. So, some background actually. I am white and Filipino biracial, so that's who I am. That's what this poem is about. My last name is Soriano Smith. Soriano being the Filipino part, Smith, of course, the American. So, I'm a mutt, a hopper freak, white passing, but some white folk ask me if I'm Chinese. Me, I drift between two different seas. My white grandmama, she's from the South, and part of her probably hates me because she thought the Bible said no mixing bloods. I know she didn't want my parents to make my sister and me. When I was born, that woman was so torn, she decided that her racism didn't apply to Filipinos no more. She don't call me by my last name though. As long as I've been mixed, she's only called me Mr. Smith, never with the Soriano on the front, like on my birth certificate. I know what the fuck she's doing. Me though, I'm nothing like her, save for half my genes. Me, I float between two different seas. In a funny way, my Filipino grandma is just like Grandma Smith, hard-headed, proud, and very racist. Switched parties when Obama ran in 08 purely on the basis that he had skin as black, and she don't like people who look like that. It was more than just her homeland, it was her mind. The Spaniards and Americans colonized me though. They did not take my mind. I'm the canary in the coal mine. I watch and see as my family picks its sides. It's a shame me and my sister don't get along cause it's only her and I on mine. We float between two different seas, fly across two different skies and see things that can only be seen by people with two different eyes. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I had some trouble writing some poetry for tonight. It was a week kind of void of inspiration. So I had to dig deep in my emotional vault and harken back to like when I was upset over an ex-girlfriend. So that's what this one is about. How do I detach your name from places we were supposed to live at? I know you already did that. And how can I reclaim these names from babies that we never did have? I know you already did that. You dead to me and your ghost haunts my headspace. Why can't you just let me be? I'm sorry I'm doing better than you now. I know I don't deserve it. This isn't how I thought it'd be either. I just need to ask. Why can't you just let me be? Why you make my thumb type your username in the search box? Why can't you let me be? Why you make my eyes search for your new man's car and hope you sit in passenger? Do I need closure? Why can't you let me be? Why you make my tongue ask mutual friends how you been? Why can't you just let me be? Why can't I have my peace? Why can't you set me free? Why you make my mind hope that I run into you one of these days? Why I know we was bad for us, but you make part of me want to get back to my old ways. Thank you. Alright, this one is about a little crush I used to have. So, you're too much yourself for me to call you mine. You keep doing your own thing and I'll keep trying to spend time with you, but it's not a waste. In fact, I like these one-sided games and I like the chase, and with you it's always a good time. And it upsets me to know that I'm like forever bro, but I take solace in the fact that in another universe you mine. That's it. Short and sweet. So, this one is about obsession. I feel like I should stop like prefacing it.
like
Like,
obsession.
this one is blank about. So, she told me to just give her space. It's so vast. How could I ever? With what scissors could I cut up the cosmos into pocket-sized pieces? And how many trips would it take for me to place them all within your palms? That's it. Thank you. So, I got two more. They're not my best poems at all by far. But like,
Never say
Alright. Alright. They're feelings and they're valid, and I would like to express them. So, y'all know why my mommy don't love me? Y'all know why my mommy don't trust me? Why she stopped kissing me on the forehead and hugging me? Why she call my baby nephew Peanut now when that's the nickname she used to call me? Why she hate my hair? Why she rather give me shit about my outfit and ask me for the 100th time if I'm sure I'm not gay instead of ask about my dad? Why she spend more time with a Marlboro pack than she ever did with me? Why she stopped paying for my vocal lessons a couple years back but kept paying for bottles of vodka? Why when I asked her why she got a drink and smoked so much, she said, you would do the same if you had to deal with you? Why did she say that knowing that I know I'm an accident? Why she don't tell me she's proud of me or that I did a good job? Why when she tell me good night, it sound more like an obligation than a delight? Why we can't say I love you and have it not be weird? Why we can't say I love you and mean it like when my friends say it to their moms? Why she don't ever ask me how I'm doing or if I'm alright? Why whenever I come home we always fight? Why I'm not her baby no more when I still need her to hold me? Sometimes I know I'm not too heavy to hold, so y'all know why my mommy don't love me? Thank you. And for my final minute 30, I've got this last one. A footstep away from suicide for like the 3rd time. Why can't I commit? I'm such a fucking pussy. Why can't I commit? Why can't I make these cuts look real instead of like I was just attention seeking this whole time? What brings me back away from the ledge when the cliffs is calling my name? What makes me lean backwards towards the ground instead of forwards and down to the Pacific so I could drown? I can't swim, I guess the ocean's my hell. I eat vegan and I got big muscles. At least the fish would be eating well. Why I walk away instead of ending it all my way? Why do I choose to live another day when my car could get struck on the side and I spin out and die on the highway? Why do I survive? It can't be that girl I'm trying to talk to, she won't ever give 2 fucks. It can't be my music, cause after 5 years I still got none. Can't be the urge to paint and make art, cause I stopped doing that shit months ago and it's too hard to restart. It can't be because I got a future ahead of me. I go to community college and I haven't picked a major. And I didn't let myself get excited at the prospect of transferring to a school that would put me in debt for some bullshit I don't care about. It can't be because I got friends and family who care about me lots. So on their list of people who they want to see on a regular, I'm probably nowhere near the top. Can't be because I want a family, because most of the time I don't. And I know that if I have one, there's a chance the kids won't be able to see past the age of 5. Why do I survive? Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That brings us to you, my dear. Yeah, Sharon is next, and then who's after Sharon? Rob, I think you're after Sharon. Then we got Jimmy, Tommy, Alan, Garrett, Shem, Jacob, Christian, Buford, Alistair Crowley, and the All Night Images. Well, that's just notes that I don't remember.
Notes to myself.
Oh, we gotta get her set up, you know.
Sorry. There it is. Go straight into the mic here, and I will knock things out of your hand. Just.
I'm ready, Mr. Mac.
Miss Mac.
Head back.
There we go.
It is not a persuasive argument that an evil should continue because it has existed in the past. William H. Hastie, 1904 to 1976. The purpose of evil was to survive it. Toni Morrison.
Great.
Kansas City.
Yes.
Edgar's arm. Kids love to visit the neighborhood repairman. So many trinkets, tools, things hanging from the ceiling in his basement. Dusty windows, cobwebs everywhere. Women in the neighborhood never sit down. Too dusty. Edgar Simpson was one of our favorite repairmen. Lots of things to see. Old mouse heads, old moose heads, broken rockers, busted typewriters, car parts, lots of gas cans, flour tins full of goodies. He, Edgar, would repair anything. Toasters, TVs, ringer washers, refrigerators, guns, chairs, bikes, radios, waffle iron. He even made many of his own tools. His wife, Mamie, never went downstairs to his shop. She hated it. But it provided a steady income for them. She was a seamstress, and her sewing room was upstairs and was off limits to him. Not that he wanted to go in there, and their constant argument was over his borrowing her scissors. Their son Benjamin had dreams of being a scientist, so he was always in the attic with his latest project. The house was a real mess. We kids thought it was the greatest place on the block. Women would walk by and point to the shutters hanging by a nail, point to the screen door hanging by another nail. But they both toiled 7 days a week. Edgar was a tall man and could be seen loping around the neighborhood, black eyeglasses, earpieces held with a piece of electrician's tape. Always, and I mean always, busy. There they were. The neighbors knew they were nothing to worry about. Okay, so here comes summer, and the little boy down the street comes to visit his aunt, and he's coming from Joplin, Missouri. But his aunt and uncle are very busy people. They run the local newspaper stand, cigarette store, and numbers joint in the back room. So, the next door neighbor, Mrs. Kirkham, she watches him, she feeds him lunch, but he's busy, and she keeps an eye on him. He just hangs around Edgar's shop, fetching items from him and making small deliveries. Summers could really get hot, so Edgar's strap and hook would often get taken off and he would lie it on the table. He'd go to the backyard, have a little schlitz, take a little sniff, and then go to sleep. One day, Frances Ellis, the neighborhood busybody, called asking about her rocker arm. It had split and she wanted Edgar to come over and take a look at it. He told her he had some extras and he would bring them over to see if anything would work. He thought he would rest his eyes and have another snort and a snooze. Herman knew Mrs. Ellis, since she lived across the street from his aunt and uncle. So on his bike he rides off to deliver and it's an easy task. Up the stairs, ring the bell. Oh, hello, Herman. Hello. Here are some arms. She brings them into the kitchen, pulls out a couple, and puts this on the table. Oh, what's this? Out comes Edgar's arm. She's screaming and runs out the door. Meanwhile, Edgar realized Herman has gone, and his arm is gone, and he's running down the street. Herman can't figure out what it's all about, and the neighbors come out, and she tells them what's going on. Meanwhile, they all sit down on the curb, and Edgar says, in a quiet voice, so much for giving a helping hand.
All right, Rob, then Jimmy, Tommy Allen, Garrett, Shem, Jacob, Christian, and Mortimer Snurd. Mortimer, is he here? Mortimer?
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters of all time. I used to call him Mort for short, but he didn't like that. I'm just advocating until Rob is ready because...
Mortimer was actually supposed to be my name. That's my grandfather's name, and my dad chickened out and made me Robert Jr.
Almost. Oh, a junior?
Sounds like a blessing.
No. Morty was the most transcendent figure of my childhood. He was brilliant. All right, it is the 4th Wednesday of the month, which means I'm going to inflict another cabaret song on you. because tomorrow night is the Underground Cabaret returning to the mission again. Burlesque and drag, and our newest act, Clyde Always, and me. So come on down to the Underground Cabaret tomorrow night, Mission and 26th. This song is called Puppy Pee Pee Booby. And if you enjoy this song, please do not clap. Please, if you're happy and you enjoy it at the end, I want you to reach out and gently pat the nearest puppy, pee pee, or booby. Hands are made for grasping, fingers made for wrapping, a handshake is a tiny hug, and touch is the drug. What do you want in your hand to slide into your palm? What makes you feel frisky? What makes you feel calm? Puppy, pee-pee, or booby, the handful of fun big three. If you could hold one now, which one would it be? Imagine a puppy licking your palm, or looking at you up above. A puppy on your face, that's wriggly, wiggly love. Pee-pees are perplexing, unpredictable too. Don't think with your other head, unless it's smarter than you. Young pee-pees come quick, then go. Old pee-pees are too damn slow. What's better, we don't know. Just tickle the balls below. Why does every woman forget to tickle the balls? Why? Pee-pees hide away from cold, but boobies say hello. The center of the palm, that's nature's nipple hollow. Don't be hard on men who obsess on a chestly view. Research doesn't lie, women booby stare too. Puppy pee-pee booby. Which one will it be? If you're torn between two and the choice feels out of reach, hold out both hands and imagine one of each. Close your eyes and go there, have one, have a pair. Which one will it be? Puppy, pee-pee, booby. There you go.
Esoteric lyrics like a lot of things. Jimmy? I think he's not here.
Jimmy.
Okay, then, well, that takes us to Tommy Avicola Mecca. Then Alan and Darren, Jim and Jacob and Christian Buford and Martin Borman.
As Stephanie mentioned earlier, some absolute idiots placed huge rocks on a pavement to keep the homeless away. So she read a poem about it, and I also have a poem about it. They place large rocks on the pavement to keep away the homeless. Cite them for asking for change, for sitting or lying, pitching a tent on the cold, hard pavement. I remember when they put up fences, sent cops, passed laws, beat up queers to stop us from cruising in parks, hanging on the street. There's always someone who has no right to public space, who's defined as a nuisance, a threat to property values by those who have rocks in their heads.
Or other places.
I want to be laid in a plain wooden box, naked as the day I came into this world. I have no fear of worms or wolves that might dig me up and tear at my flesh. No use for my bones. Let them feast. The wind won't remember my name or whisper of the things I did. The flowers won't judge me. They'll remember my green thumb. Those who want can mourn. I hope they never rest until the world I left is a better place than when I lived there.
Right.
And finally, I'll end with this. I had no choice. I was conceived, born. I was never asked to be brought into this world. Had I been, I would have said, hell no. I had no choice. I was baptized, told I was theirs forever, a soldier of Christ. I was never asked if I wanted to be. Had I been, I would have said, hell no. I had no choice. I was told I was straight, so I hid who I was. When I learned the price of denying who I am, I immediately said, hell no! I had no choice. I lived my life the only way I could, fighting Goliaths, questioning everything. If I had it to do over again, and I was asked if I would do it the same way, I'd say, hell yes!
Alan Harris, Alan Harris, Alan. Give him a round of applause, people out there. Thank you. Snap it up and down, Harris.
I'll put it up for you.
No, that's fine.
No, this is
didn't know
Alan
anything.
Harris.
Yeah.
Some comment on my
Alan.
lack of height.
I just didn't change it.
Just Alan Harris. You could be an astronaut. You could be driving a bus.
Tell him to shut up back there.
Don't moon us.
Don't moon anybody, though.
Your buddy would say you got the height.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Alan. I'll be your server. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. As you can see, there are 4 other tables in my station, the 2 on your right and the 2 on your left, but I'm going to be as attentive to your needs as I possibly can. Are you ready to order, sir? Yes, I'll have a burger deluxe. Ah, burger deluxe, very good. Would that be a cheeseburger deluxe? Yes. Ah, cheeseburger deluxe, very good. And what kind of cheese would you like? Our choices are American, Swiss, Jack, cheddar, mozzarella, or blue. I'll have American. Ah, American. Very good. Did I mention we have cheddar? Yes. Did I mention we have Swiss? Yes. Very good. I just wanted to make sure that you have all the choices. So we're going with American then. Yes. And how would you like your burger cooked? Medium. Ah, medium. Very good. Would that be medium more on the rare side, medium more on the well side, or medium just right down the middle? Right down the middle. Ah, medium right down the middle. Very good. Confidentially, that's how I like it. I feel better about my choice now. Glad to hear it. And would you like a seeded bun or one without seeds?
Ah!
No seeds. No seeds. Very good. And would you like lettuce? I would love lettuce. Iceberg or romaine? What? What kind of lettuce would you like? Iceberg or romaine? Romaine is the dark, chewy kind. There's an extra charge for it, but some people, myself included, feel that it's worth it. You recommend romaine? I do. I'll have iceberg. I understand it. It's all subjective. Onion? Yes. White or red? Surprise me. Oh, surprise you. Very good. We'll make it white. Oh, I'm sorry. I've spoiled the surprise. In that case, we'll make it red. Tomato? Yes. You choose what kind. Thank you. And now on to the subject of drink. I'll have a Coke. Classic, diet, or cherry Coke? Cherry. Large, medium, or small? Large. Ice? Yes. Will you be requiring a straw? Oh my God, I can't take this anymore. No more questions, no more decisions. I spend all day making decisions. I just need 1 hour off from it. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to upset you. Let me get you a glass of water. Thank you. Bottle or from the tap? Would you like ice in that? Would you like lemon or lime as a garnish? This has no ending, so we're gonna move on.
The eternal waiter.
Now, I don't know how to say this. Of course I know how to say it. This is going to be my last reading here for a while. I'm going to be moving down to Los Angeles. What would you put in Los Angeles?
Why not?
Lovely place.
It is
Wide
lovely
open
place.
spaces. Okay. Anyway, so I'm moving down to LA, so this will be the last reading I do here for a while, but I have a feeling I'll be back. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for when I came here 10 years ago, I was a mess.
And now?
And now I'm even more of a mess, and that's due to all of you. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So,
It's progress.
So, here's to you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you to this place. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
And
Read on.
and that's it. We're done. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Alan Harris. Who's next?
Los Angeles.
Garrett. Garrett Murphy. Wonderful. And then after Garrett?
Shem.
And get Shem after Garrett. Oh yeah, thank you for that. Take it easy, Mo.
First piece tonight is called Chumps and Bolts Don't Mix After All. Matchmaker, did you ever do a deal breaker? But no need to self-reproach, everyone thought it was the ultimate match. Attracted to each other like magnets, thought we. Two toxic creatures were better and breed worse than one. But somehow, despite all our rejoicing and all our fantasies for the wedding of millenniums, their relationships just failed to work out. Their parting is our sad sorrow, and it would appear that the bones are not all picked yet. It's really too bad, though. Those two solely served each other, and would that the bones picked apart from all this were solely their own. Young man is the new boy. Hey everybody, there's a new boy on the block these days. His name is Young Man, and he's the new boy around here. Young Man is a new boy with some gray in his hair, or what's left of it, after he's reached a certain level of maturity. Young Man is a new boy after he's next encountered by flocks of chickens who traveled up to acknowledge his boyhood, but are too far conditioned to spit out tact. Young Man is a new boy who's referred to by a rookie, too wise to rephrase his elders' errors that landed them on the carpet. Young Man is the new boy who, when hearing false endearments by those who claim such a compliment, shrugs, scowls, and knows better. Young Man is a new boy who's older than many of those who coronate him as such, and are little more than But no need to risk offending actual babies or those with true mental defects.
That's
Jim.
Always great.
Jim.
So with the exception of Rob and the famous gentleman who just read, all of us have been keeping it short. I just wanted to point that out. But Rob was gracious enough to sit down, which was nice, you know, kept his tallness out of the factor. Anyway, I read this afternoon that the word was medium, and something from 30 years ago came back into my memory, so I'll just say that really quick, and then I'll get to the poem that I really wanted to read. It's kind of an embarrassing short thing, but anyway, I was 19, so who cares? Let me stretch your canvas, baby. Paint my masterpiece all over your body. Use myself as medium. My blood and cum and calcium. I want to feel you in the marrow of my bone. I was 19 years old when I wrote that. And it has the word medium in it, so I figured it was appropriate.
That was medium.
All right, this one I wrote last week, so it's probably not finished, but I think it's called Free Associatic Feeling. And it goes like this. I got an old rotary ringtone on my cell phone, nostalgically analogous to holding on to being put on hold by the operator. Yeah, those were the days. Got that old-timey TV static playing on my screensaver. A vainglorious attempt to go back in time, feed off the original bang type of flavor. Used to be I could tune my A string to the dial tone in a pinch. Still remember my first phone number too, 724-5140. No need to remember that type of shit no more though. Smartphones, contactless takes care of that, and YouTube's got plenty of videos for tuning a guitar. Nowadays, the paranoid visions of a Philip K. Dick or your garden variety 20th century schizophrenic seems more like prescience than psychosis. What with the new surveillance, capitalist prospectors constantly data mining every goddamn move we make, can't even mind your own business these days before you get sold and bought on virtual auction blocks. Way these big time shopkeeps mind the store algorithm only knows what they got in store for us. Self-driving cars and self-generating robots and mutable identities, virtual skins, reality enhancements, ever-accelerating evolution of hive mind manipulation techniques, selling points for click-through conversion rates and whatnot. Human behavior hackers pimping predictability for their nefarious profit-making purposes. Got us stuck in between our stucknesses, performing random acts of defiance, trying not to mean anything, trying to trick the algorithms. But if we stop for a moment to take a look, assess our collective circumstance, we might see we seem to be trapped, caught in a closed loop of self-correcting fits and starts, tripping from one highly volatile state of disequilibrium into the next like autopoiesis run amok. Yeah, too late to proceed with caution when it comes to the ubiquitous search engines and the much too easy applications claiming to be free of charge for our convenience. We already pay the cost, lost everything we spent the past few hundred years learning how to hold sacred, our so-called individual, sanctified, free-willed humanistic selves, ostensibly capable of making informed decisions, using common sense to perform our civic duties, play our part in some sort of participatory democratic dream world. What was it Sigmund used to say about mystical experience? Called it a kind of vague, oceanic feeling. Wasn't too keen on that sort of thing, old Freud, but willing to acknowledge it as an experience. She sells Fibonacci sequences down by the seashore. I remember when I was a kid and we used to go to the beach, somebody would always press a shell up against my ear and say, "Listen, you can hear the ocean." That ocean-like sound emanates equally from a plastic bottle cap or a seashell, both likely to be found on any random post-apocalyptic shoreline. Lately, along with the sand and plastic and glass and shells, we see whales fatally beach themselves. Is the voice from the whirlwind's favorite plaything, Leviathan, Melville's Moby Dick committing suicide in a world gone wrong, or are the oceans already such a toxic soup it's killing them off? I don't know, but something feels off. white noise of TV screen static, an unadulterated night sky overfull with stars, loud murmur and hum of insects in the dark. This is what life sounded like before. This is what it sounded like in the womb. This is what it always feels like in the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you. In the beginning. All right. Well, Jacob, give him a round. Come on. We got Christian, Buford, and Sandra.
Oh yeah, so lost someone important. Haven't really written much poetry, but I've written some poetic prose, so I'll share that with you tonight. Dano, it's a short story, so play me off when it's my time. French show tune though.
Microphone.
Check, check. All right.
Better.
The anti-city theory. 4 a.m. tends to seduce the soul, instructing it to step out of the body and examine what lies beneath the bone. The city has become a recluse. Neon euphoria still shines bright, but the cabbies and nightlife enthusiasts have returned to hibernation. All that remains is the tangible totems of consumer America and sidewalk tenants. San Francisco's pavements have epochs etched in them, hard to see through the shit and piss that pollute a city in retrograde. Money and techno real estate continue to amplify. The citizens are thrown together and converged into indistinguishable data. Words like unique and culture are but old tags that have faded from the consciousness. Advertisements are hurled at me. Even the blind can evade this programming. The subconscious has an addiction to stimuli. It is a full-time junkie. Even sleep still pumps it full of energy. We are the fuel that keeps this chaos going. Downtown has reached 100 degrees. Hell is a construct, but I may be witnessing it now. At my feet, last week's picket signs. Everybody go home. We have successfully impregnated the city. We are not fit to raise this peace. We might as well border ourselves in and self-implode in peace. An optimist always makes me smile. They remain untouched by demons. Their innocence is what we should smoke, not these chemicals that ensure self-portrait resembles Van Gogh's ear. Just the ear. I make my way to the pier. The seals huff and heave in unison, and a mass of shadows awaiting our departure. What would they do with all these coffee shops and boutiques? Maybe there would be a Ralph Lauren among them who breaks from the social norm and opts to wear a bra with an image of a horse riding a man. I grab my knife and carve a Nirvana-like smiley face on the wood planks. This world is a canvas. All of us could be individuals, yet we continue to clutter the earth with reprints. Decayed dreams float in the ether until they decide to turn to downpour and weigh down each set of feet attempting a purposeful life. When guns add bullets to the rain, it is no random act of violence, but condensed hatred. A path that ensures that one person's failure will never be the success of another. The architecture around me holds history, but we treat these buildings as a certainty. The earth could swallow them at any moment. What information will we lose? A pigeon lands on my shoulder and picks at my hair. I have not, in fact, escaped reality. This illusion returns once more. The city was never a city. This is the dream within the dream. Eyes are open, but we will never truly wake up. Ear pods in excess will induce insomnia. We have always been hybrids, half zombie, half human. Fast forward a few years and we will be robots. Sex and drugs will be obsolete. Populations will be mass-produced like the modern mind. I haven't slept for 3 days. Colors are more of a pastel. There are trails of energy within each object. Nothing stays in place. My hand resembles Saturn. My bones elusive centipedes. Inevitably, I will turn the corner and see my reflection in all representations of matter. My last girlfriend was the Mona Lisa. I never could get her to crack a smile. Even when I called her fine art, still stoic. Much of my peers are mannequins, displaced emotions attempting to bury their predetermined path. At this point in the story, the narrator could be me, or one of the infinite. My mind houses libraries, and not all of the authors have made themselves known. Some play tricks on me and get off when I self-sabotage. Others ignite me with the drive that wishes to see success and fulfillment, a higher self in search of higher power. My friends are a mix of winos and philosophers. Each sees life in a calculated lens. They will debate for centuries. This humors me, for at the end of all this nonsense, they will be scratching their heads. Why the opposition when we were one and the same all along? Not clones, but in synchronized pursuit of something more, truth, an understanding of self. The human odyssey, for those whose minds were driven to alchemy. I grab a marker from my pocket and tag along the Trans-American building. Evolve or erode an illusion. It's not a call to action, but for my own sanity. People will follow the credo of pop culture, not of their own inner workings. God is a billboard, God is a hashtag, God is the latest sex tape. My last friend was turned into Pinocchio for Disney's live adaptation. He was taken to the dungeon where Walt's head resides and thrown into the furnace to be reincarnated as a puppet. I miss our Sundays in the mission. Instead of going home, I walked to Burger King, where a seance is being conducted. We could use you. What's your blood type? Do you eat lamb? When they find out I'm vegan, they decide to throw ketchup packets at me and hiss like serpents. The city is getting ready to open for business. I must make my escape. My soul shakes my body, which is lying across a park bench. It dusts off the needles and vacant bottles before jumping back in. The working class herd begin their ascension. I throw change into a store and am presented with an espresso from the Amazon. With this sort of fuel, I could conquer all. I head to my office, the history section of the main library, amidst desolate angels and sages sedated by syringes. ... Yeah, what is, yeah, we call it that.
There we go. Thank you. Good job. Christiane. And then Buford, and then the Sanderell. That closes us out. Another fine evening of music, charity, bon vivant, excitement, and excess.
Well, there's been
You're
a
really
lot of
close to the
talk.
mic. Really close.
A lot of talk about the homeless. And I was homeless in the middle 50s in Provincetown, Massachusetts. And I never knew where I would end up. And often I would wake up in bed and there would be 5 or 6 other people in bed. And Provincetown at that time was a haven for the LGBTQ community from around the world. And that was it. I don't think there was anything like Provincetown at that period of time. Lately, I had a friend here in Berkeley, David Nadell, who had a place called Ashkenaz.
Oh, yeah.
And he depended on homeless people to keep the place going. They cleaned it for him, they were the doormen, and he put them up inside of his dance hall.
Bravo.
So it's all about sharing. Share whenever you can, and giving is a wonderful thing. Her name was Marjorie Main.
Oh, yeah.
In the sublime tone of hark matter, resonating in universal starlight. Her name vibrant in Emmanuel Sintra's mind, no less than the angel gut harp strings. From forming an obsidian light which arose from the connection of their unadorned, throbbing flesh, all the way up to the crescent moon. No sooner had they dressed than Marjorie's sister rang the doorbell. Marjorie had arranged for her sister to be intimate with Emmanuel, who, when he noticed her expression, was sure she anticipated the promised land. He remembered a similar affair with one of Marjorie's close friends. He took a deep breath, empowered by Marjorie's recent words. The ecstasy that passed through my darling friend and my beloved sister will flow joyfully through all my being. Please share. Don't.
Thank you. All right. Buford, and then the Sanderell are closing us out, and we have these wonderful prizes to distribute, designed with your mind in mind. That's not my line.
Diner, trained on customers, finishing good omelets, taking pancake off my ample plate, eyes flashing with examination. That's it. Like you, I find people fascinating. Record their movements, listen to the thoughts they express, though of course they need their privacy. I find them expressive, their words, if not profound, at least almost riveting. We listen to each other's hearts, you and I. One more. CCSF. CCSF, people standing in front of buildings on a hill. On the bus, mostly young college students, though a few people and I, more mature, rolling across a valley from Daly City and its green one, blue one, yellow one, as Malvina Reynolds said. I could tell you more if she were alive, but the song she left has a lot of information. Ding and dong on the bus. We ride across the, actually it's Frida Kahlo. We ride on Frida Kahlo's new name for Phelan. Phelan was an old racist, and he was an old racist mayor, and Frida was one of the most beautiful women who could paint better even with a paintbrush in her mouth after her body gave out. The bus turns at a wide corner. That's it.
Thank you. All right, and listen to that. That's how I say his name in French. Listen to that.
All right, I'm going to read this for Alan Harris.
All right.
We were going to miss him, so. Anyway, we'll do both of these. Clean, shiny. Clean, shiny people walk by a ghost reciting poetry. Every so often, someone would see, hear, stop, listen until ghosts fade, or they do. Musicians walk by like what ghosts do. Cleanest of the cleanest for a Sunday stroll. We're going here, there, rambling. Pretty and dappled sun, singles, couples, groups, having no care. You know the normal in our new times as society world explodes. Need to depopulate, get rid of lice. But as a metaphor, where white people just kept coming, fighting Indians, Homo sapiens, think all this killing on the battlefield will save us from our future while we eat poisoned food. Tribal rich, empire, USA brings global wars against haves, have-nots, depopulating while making money doing it. Life is good for tribally rich with their minions helping these agendas along. Clean, shiny, no restless situations, only good karma here. There is no magic in the air that we can see, but unseen, most dangerous, eluding kind of magic. Magic of the unseen, clean, shiny. And the last one is called Span. Dance as I span water, dancing, spin, pull in, become centrifugal force, no recourse. Laugh, toss our heads back, no one's going to turn us round. Keep changing till you know yourself. Join, there's a struggle going on. Heads back, step ahead, solidarity dances with you. Feel her presence? Dance! Solidarity makes love, making more solidarity. Make love because you can, because you want to. Go in trance, mesmerize. Join when there's a consent. Have we forgotten? Struggle maintaining sacred hoop circle has many broken parts, needs mending to heal it. Ourselves helping give back to the mother? Or have we forgotten how to give back? So much rape, murder, and not enough love. Life were virtual, where there is more virtual than real. Make our way back to the circle, sit together, consult with one another, span as in thought our minds, intellect, humanity, grandfather, son, mother, earth gave us. Live instead of killing it. Go back in time before black robes brought us sin. Span, let it go, consult. We need answers, solutions, time to confront empires. Consult. Time, patience has a way of leaving us behind.
Yeah.
Royal Santa Roll.
Prizes, prizes.
Prizes, prizes.
Prizes, prizes.
Just so you know, thank you, thank you.
Step right up.
Everything. So when you sign in, you put your name next to a number. These cards have numbers on them. I've been shuffling them and reshuffling them.
And I've been shuffling.
And he's been shuffling them. And I've been
Oh, and we're shuffling.
Shuffle on the buffle, shuffle on the buffle, shuffle